book lovers, it is G-Swizz here, and I'm here today to do the end of year book tag. 2021 has been a very good reading year for me. It's been a very interesting year, like a bittersweet year in general, but nevertheless we're almost at the end of it, which is really exciting. That being said, I can finally do the tag that everybody's doing right now. Yes, without further ado, let's get into the end of year book tag. Prompt number 1 is, are there any books you started this year that you need to finish? You have a book series that I definitely do need to finish by the end of the year. In my personal opinion, I mean, like, no one's making me, but I would much prefer to get through it by the end of the year. The All Souls trilogy, the original All Souls trilogy, because there are going to be some spin-off books for this series, and the final book is the Book of Life. I actually started this, I'm pretty sure, straight after Shadow of Night, and then I realized I probably just need a little bit of a break because each of these books are really dense. They are very slow and very character driven, which isn't a bad thing, but sometimes I just really need a good plot driven story that's very fast so it keeps me motivated in terms of reading. I know reading's not a competitive sport, but sometimes you can get burnt out if you're not getting your needs met, so that's exactly why I put this book series down for the meantime. I'm very much looking forward to picking this third and final book in the first trilogy up very soon. The next question I absolutely hate, and I hate it every year. I purposely do not answer the question correctly because it's not inclusive of my hemisphere. But yeah, I mean, what's new in the booktube community anyway? Didn't mean to chuck shade, but it's kind of the truth. Do you have an autumnal book to transition into the end of the year? Autumn in the southern hemisphere and in Australia is at the beginning of the year. I purposely want to answer with a complete opposite book series. This book series right here consists of seasons, but it does not consist of autumn or fall whatsoever. So this is Evermore Academy. Each of the books are titled after a season, but there's not going to be an autumn from what I know. First book is winter, the second book is spring, and the third and final book is summer. It's really hot here in Australia. The heat has just been turning up in my suburb, and it's been turning up everywhere. We never have white Christmases, and we never have autumn leaves falling down at this time. Yes, I really want to read the series in the lead up to summer. I don't know, like, I've really wanted to read the Evermore Academy series for quite some time now. It was already kind of on my end of year TBR anyway, or my quarter 4 TBR, so it's pretty much the perfect opposite answer for this prompt, considering that there's no fall or autumn in the series whatsoever, but also it's a book series that I do want to read at the end of the year. Prompt number 3, is there a new release you are still waiting for? Yes, A Psalm of Storms and Silence by Roseanne A. Brown. I'm pretty sure that the first book came out in May of last year. The finale is coming out in November of this year, and considering that shipping is not really great, I'm probably going to be receiving the physical copy in December. I might have to opt for the audiobook. Very much looking forward to the next installment in this series. I don't want it to be the finale, but it looks like it's going to be the finale, considering Roseanne A. Brown and the publisher have marketed it as the finale. But I am very much looking forward to it, and I want to support Roseanne A. Brown's writing and books in the future. Prompt number 4 is, what are 3 books that you want to read by the end of the year? I'm pretty sure one I'm going to include on that list is the Death Note series. This morning I finished volume 6, which officially means that I am halfway through the series, if I'm not mistaken. I'm pretty sure there are 12 volumes. I'm proud of myself considering that I put this on last year's Halloween TBR and I just did not get to it. But this time I just got a head start and started reading the series from the beginning of September. That was a good idea. I'm gonna sneeze. I want to get it done by the end of the year so I could just tick it off, but also I kind of just want to rewatch the anime, and I'm refusing to rewatch the anime until I finally finished the manga. So I gotta do it. And ironically enough, I have 2 Hades and Persephone retellings that I want to read by the end of the year. This was not planned. I'm just really drawn to the Hades and Persephone story and seeing the retellings of it. So first of all, I'm gonna talk about one that is much lighter and I'm pretty sure is more young adult-ish, and that, my friends, is A Deal with the Elf King, which is a Married to Magic novel. If you guys don't know, this is a series by Elise Kova where she writes some companion novels that kind of have to do with a different paranormal creature. So this book in the series consists of elves, the second book in the series consists of fae, and the third book in the series consists of vampires, which is very fascinating. I love Elise Kova. I've literally read 13 books this year by Elise Kova. This year alone, my goodness. And I really want to support this series. I mean, it's currently the most hyped up book series by Elise Kova so far, but funnily enough, it is the book series that I have not yet read by one of my favorite authors. I feel like I at least need to get to the first book in the Married to Magic saga. Finally, out of the three, I've got to include a book that I just received in the mail that is a Hades and Persephone retelling that is a lot more of a new adult take. No, I'm not talking about any of the books in the Touch of Darkness series. I'm talking about a book in Katie Roberts' Dark Olympus saga, and that, my friends, is Neon Gods. I have seen buzz, so much buzz about this particular book on Bookstagram. Everyone is praising it, they're raving about it, they're talking about it, and honestly, I think it's about time that I get in on it because I've just been seeing so many rave reviews by the people who I trust the most. I really want to know why this is so special. And unlike the Touch of Darkness series, this is a standalone novel in the Dark Olympus saga. So the books in this series are gonna follow different gods and their love stories, but as a modernized retelling. Very much looking forward to experiencing more Hades and Persephone this year through Neon Gods and through a deal with the Elf King. Prompt number 5. Is there a book that you think could still shock you and become your favorite book of the year? Out of the books that I just mentioned, maybe A Deal with the Elf King, considering that I read the Air Awakens saga by Elise Kova and absolutely loved it, and Elise Kova is one of my favorite authors because of it, and that's definitely going to be on my favorites list for this year. So this book in particular could make that list. I also want to bring up Song of the Forever Rains by E.J. Mello. I know nothing about this book, I just know that everybody raves about it, but it could surprise me. And the reason why I say that it could surprise me is because I know nothing about it. And sometimes when I don't know anything about a book series and then all of a sudden I read it, it just blows me out of the water. That's what happens sometimes. And so I'm wondering if it will happen with this book series. I also want to mention, if I do end up getting to it by the end of the year, the Bargainer trilogy by Laura Thalessa. Everyone is talking about this trilogy. I even just purchased the Bookish Box editions. I've been waiting for them to make new covers because, unpopular opinion, I actually really don't like these covers, but I also want to read the series and I hear a lot of great things about it. A lot of people say that it's very similar to A Court of Mist and Fury in the way that it displays its fantasy romance. A lot of people say that it's kind of like very similar, so yes please, I'll take it. And two other books that I do want to mention are Defy the Night by Bridget Kemmerer and Vespertine by Margaret Rogerson. Both of these books have not yet been posted to me because I've gotten the Bookish Box special editions of them, but also I'm very much excited to read them. I've just wanted something new from Bridget Kemmerer for a while. I might even just go and read some of her backlist. The Cursebreaker series, as much as it was good, it did not leave me very satisfied, and I just hear good things about Defy the Night. And also Vespertine, Margaret Rogerson, amazing writer, and this is her first series that she's putting out. I'm really excited for it, so cannot wait to read this one. And final prompt to this tag is, have you already started making reading plans for 2022? Yes and no. So like, I have two concrete rules I do want to follow. I definitely want to read more Haruki Murakami. This year, for some reason, I have not. So last year, I read so much Haruki Murakami. I was just falling in love with his writing and just absolutely falling head over heels with it. And the fact that I've literally only read one book from him, and that was a reread, and that was Norwegian Wood. I feel so bad because he's one of my favorite authors ever. Absolutely love the themes and the messages that I get out of his books, and sometimes I get more and more as I reread them. But I just want to prioritize reading his books because I have so many of his backlist books on my TBR that I have not yet read. Like, I have a full Haruki Murakami shelf. It's probably gonna go into a full and second shelf if he decides to write more. Second and finally, I do want to mention that I want to read more independently published authors. I have been reading a lot more this year. I have been expanding my reading taste. Like, I've moved past the point where I am no longer looking at books that say New York Times bestselling author on them anymore. As much as that is really exciting, and that doesn't actually define whether a book is good or not, there are so many other stories that I could be exploring. I mean, I have been this year, and some of them have become my absolute favorite books, so those are the stories that I want to pay attention to. I guess that's gonna be it for the end of year book tag today, book lovers. If you happen to enjoy this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you haven't yet already. Join the amazing community of book lovers. And also, I have social medias. I'm at gswizzlebooks on Twitter and Instagram, and I'm also at Goodreads. That's www.goodreads.com/gswizzle. And finally, I'm at TikTok. I'm at gswizzle at TikTok if you want to follow me there for some more content. I love you, book lovers, and I will see you later. Peace.
How did I win half and I flipped it in a double? How did I win half and I flipped it in a double?